Almost 13,000 people refused entry to Canada from US during pandemic. Remember when the US declared Canada a national security threat? A similar thing is happening with Australian states that are shutting their borders. We had virtually no cases up to about 3 weeks ago, but these couple of younger girls jumped the border illegally by lying to Border Patrol and spread the virus in our state. Now they're facing many years of jail time and hefty fines. I thought we've all been refused entry. And we laughed at Trump's claim he was going to make other countries pay for a wall. The amazing part is that Americans aren't allowed in Canada, some European countries, and the Bahamas, and some Americans still think COVID is not that bad or not real/a hoax. I literally cannot fathom why anyone would think this a good time to travel. Damn, I thought this was just a few dozen people, but I guess it's happening at pretty much every crossing every day. Doesn't matter what country you're from, if meds or vaccine is the only ultimate answer, then nobody is probably going anywhere far for a while. That's really just the hard truth. I know a good chunk of people who were holding on to some false hope that vaccines would be right around the corner, especially the overly optimistic crowd on r/travel. Even if the U.S. had acted better, there will still be massive restrictions on movement all across the world well into next year at the very least. Keep up the good work, Canadian Border Forces. We know you've your own idiots to cope without compounding of ours. Signed, American Commiserating Cheesehead. Edit, sorry of those uninitiated, posting from bordering state of Wisconsin, U.S. Hey Americans! Are we winning yet? 13,000 people got a reality check that is not going to do anything because they are too entitled to process why they were rejected and will probably blame it on socialism or something. In Canada, people are taking this seriously. We have fewer than 400 cases per day in a population of 36 million across the whole country. In the US, there were 60,000 cases yesterday on a population of 330 million. I don't think Donald Trump can break this down, but let me help Dr. Fossey. We are at 11 cases per million and America is at 181. Why y'all being so stupid? I got my test no problem and results in 2 days. Best place on earth, stay home please. Remember that time the US stole mask shipments bound for numerous different countries, including Canada, only to stop making an effort completely and go out partying? LOL. US citizens can go through Canada to get to Alaska. I've caught several US plated personal vehicles driving through Canada, where they're not supposed to be. I'm a trucker, so, through my travels in Canada, I've seen 2 Florida and 2 Texas plated vehicles packed with all the camping gear and full of people. They are supposed to take a specific route and are not to deviate in the slightest. Stupidity finds a way. I wasn't rejected. Was interviewed by 3 different immigration officials at Sarnia, told them my 92-year-old mother needed me to take care of her, they called her and she verified it, and they let me in with a briefing of what was expected of me during my 14-day quarantine. Drove straight to my mother's and spent the next 14 days in her apartment. Received 2 phone calls, 1 automated, from Canadian health officials and 4 emails reminding me of my responsibilities. After the 14 days were up, I went grocery shopping and ran errands, wearing a mask. So far, so good. But reading about other Americans that have flaunted the laws is infuriating. For what it's worth, Americans have ignored Canadian laws concerning weapons for years and routinely get caught trying to hide handguns in their RVs on their way to Alaska. How about refuge? I need to seek refuge from the rampant stupidity in America. And they should receive 5-year bans for fucking trying. I live in a border town in which many Americans have cottages on the water. They were legally allowed entry due to the fact they owned property. The problem is that it's usually just a bunch of college kids, who throw huge parties with illegal fireworks, and drive like assholes on the way to the liquor store. There are way too many American plates over here. I don't even think essential workers should be allowed cross. Delivery drops are the only safe way to allow some traffic through. Imagine the outrage if Canada separated families and put children in cages. We have so much wrong that people still forget about the concentration camps at the border. I can just imagine the whine of "but we're okay," or "why not us," from these people. I suppose the ultra-wealthy can sneak in, though. Those buggers always buy their way. For a country that sure doesn't like other people coming there, they sure have a lot of people who think it's their right to go everywhere else. I'm so ashamed to be American sometimes. The wrong ones are always the loudest. I say unleash the geese, and perhaps the meese, on the next bunch of morons who try to come in. Seeing how long the border has been closed, that's only really like 100 a day. I'm sure it was much more near the beginning of the closure and less now. Only 13,000. Some flew in and were denied entry. I bet that's an expensive hoopsie. It's because Americans are outraged that they can't go to cottage country, and then complain that Canadian stores don't accept their US currency. This is wrong headline. It should be something like this. Almost 13,000 people tried to enter Canada from US during pandemic. This makes me laugh so hard at all the Trump tards. Losing your shit and wanting foreigners banned from entering your country, then being stopped at the gate by Canada. This irony is so concentrated it can be weaponized. It's a start, probably a good decision on behalf of Canada. Americans are fucking this up. Best news ever. Fucking Americans worried about Mexicans crossing the border to come into America that they're the scumbags that Canada is now refusing. Fucking what goes around comes around. The pandemic is an opportunity for the world to tell America they don't like them and they should fuck off. It's so karmic, it's laughable. No one wants Americans in their country, just as our president didn't want undesirable foreigners in America. Now Americans are the sickly undesirables. Yes, so. This is fine. Countries should manage their borders for the benefit of their citizens. Carry on. Several years ago, Bill Burr was on Conan, and he quipped that if we ever build the wall, by the time it's finished, we're going to be the ones trying to get over it. This just in. Canada's next Prime Minister wins a landslide victory based solely on the promise to build a wall to keep Americans out. I'm hoping that's 100% of non-essential travelers. But probably not. Do you know how hard you have to work to make Canadians angry? When you can't understand, or deliberately refuse, science. Intelligent people will shun you. Mexico and Canada banning Americans. This must be the end days. It should be more I love in a beach town on Lake Huron, and this weekend was a #T show, people with New York plates, Michigan, Arizona. I saw 3 Florida ones and huge families that thought it was okay to camp on a public beach and leave their trash everywhere. The whole town is trying to have the beach shut down, BC of them, and I wouldn't be mad. Our town has monthly clean-up sessions for those beaches, and we maintain the boardwalk and gardens, and face with symbols on mouth, pouting face with symbols on mouth. Good, maybe they'll finally understand that being dumb during a pandemic isn't acceptable everywhere. Honestly, until you ban guns, fix your cops and get that clown out of office, I say we keep the border closed. I want to be clear, ban all non-hunting weapons, long barrel 6-shot max, also a proper vetting system for weapon sales and the disbanding for the NRA. Serious, most Canadians think Americans are insane. As a whole, not as individuals. I have many good friends that live south of the border and are very rational people.